Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Now, in this video, I am going to be going over and covering how you can start yield farming with a lower budget. So I had a comment on a video the other day asking if I can make a video kind of explaining on what I would do if I was starting yield farming with $1,000 today. So I think I will probably do a couple of videos like these, obviously starting off with $1,000 and then with the goal that your $1,000 is the kind of initial capital that you're putting up, and then going ahead and putting more and more into that and diversifying as the months go on. Then also taking your fees and compounding them to build a bigger bag that you're farming with, okay, a bigger cash flow with those earnings. So that's what we're going to be starting with. I may do another one with $5,000, then $10,000, then 25K, then like 50K and 100K, something like that. But yeah, with that being said, I'm not a financial advisor. Do not take this as financial advice. This is just what I would do if I was starting with $1,000 today. And also take a look at the links in the description. I'm going to leave a link for Crystal, be the first link in the description. We're going to be using Crystal in this video, and I use Crystal pretty much every day as well. And also for pretty much doing anything within yield farming, you're going to need a tool such as Crystal to check positions, manage positions, check what's going on, and new positions to potentially enter and stuff like that. So there'll be a link for Crystal in the description where you can use that, and you can currently farm the crystals, which you can generate crystal tokens. You can generate crystals, which will turn into crystal tokens when they do launch. So you're essentially farming a free airdrop, and just by utilizing the program, right? You can use their swap feature that they have going on, which they use Uniswap's UI. So you can just do a normal Uniswap swaps within Crystal, and you can earn 10 crystals every dollar you swap, etc. And you can basically farm this free airdrop. So with that being said, let's jump into how to start with $1,000. So with 1K, you want to keep it pretty simple. Okay, I'm assuming that you're just starting out, so we're not going to do anything crazy like extrafy and taking out leverage. We're not going to do anything like putting up collateral and taking a loan on that on some sort of position. We're not going to use leverage, any of that stuff. We're going to keep it pretty simple. Now, there's three things that I'd suggest. First one is going to be just simple Uniswap yield farming, which we have our positions set up. If you check my video every Monday, I have my positions set up over on Uniswap. So yours will look something similar to this, where you will have, a position within Uniswap. Now, when you're starting with $1,000, and you'll just see kind of your positions like this, and you can manage them and all that good stuff. Now, when you see this, essentially, you're going to start probably with one position, okay? So you can either start something on Uniswap, which we'll go over in a second. You can do something on a deck such as Aerodrome, because again, it's very easy to set up. And then also you could do something like, Beefy Finance, where it kind of auto compounds for you. So let's first start out with Uniswap. Uniswap. So we're going to look at Crystal to have a look at some positions. Now, if you want to find out and have a look yourself for pools, go over to Crystal. Again, the link will be in the description. Go hover over Explorer and then click on Hot Pools, and it'll bring you to this page. Now, because you're going to be starting with $1,000, instantly Ethereum is off the list. Okay. Now, the chain that I would suggest starting on is completely up to you. Do what chain you feel more comfortable on, where you have the funds on already, or if you're kind of bringing crypto in. Again, this depends on what on-ramp you use. Which depends on what chain you can actually get that onto. So it's probably going to be something like Base if you're using Coinbase. It's going to be something like Polygon, BNB, potentially Arbitrum, and Optimism. So the chains that I would probably select to start with: BNB, Polygon, AVAX, Arbitrum, Base, or Optimism. So once you've got your funds on chain, which I'm not going to make a video on that, because if you're watching this, you probably have funds on chain or you know how to do that. We're going to see and have a look at some different networks. So let's first start off with Polygon and see what we've got going on. So I would probably start with a blue chip position, a very simple blue chip position here. Like for example, this could be a perfect one to start with. You have Bitcoin to USDC here, 131.69% per year. USDC and ETH is a good shout, Matic and USDC. So again, you have to pick a token that you're comfortable with, that you know about. So Bitcoin is probably the easiest one. And again, that will kind of depend on what chain you're on as well. So let's have a look at Base, for example. You've got some decent Ethereum positions here over on Base, which is pretty cool as well. Now, I wouldn't suggest going for some crazy APR, $1,000, and you're like, okay, I can get 1,200% on my $1,000. But go and watch my video on the yield farming guide that I made last week, I believe it was, because that will go into why that's probably a bad idea. Considering TVL is very low, volume is pretty low as well. This isn't a good position to go in my opinion, to start with, because yeah, you're getting crazy high APR, but that's not going to last very long. You may get that for about a day or less. So a bunch of different opportunities. So that's the first one you could look at, which is Crystal, which is going onto Uniswap, and then you'll just manage them yourself. You'll come in however often you want to come in, and you can rebalance your position, collect fees, all that good stuff, right? Now the next thing is going to be on something like Aerodrome, okay, on a DEX. Now the way this works is, let's find a position. Let's say we want to go into OVN and USD Plus, for example. Okay, you're going to get 158.92%, and then to go into this position, you just need to click on it, okay, and then you're going to need OVN and USD Plus. So let's say you want to put $1,000 in, right? Well, you're going to need $500 worth of USD Plus, and you're going to need 10.85 OVN. So on a DEX such as Aerodrome, this isn't concentrated liquidity. Over on these positions are concentrated. So let's just say we click into, I don't know, this pool here. Okay, and when this loads, you'll see that we have to pick a price range for this position. Okay, we have to pick a price range that we want to supply the liquidity between. However, when you're on a DEX such as Aerodrome, they do have concentrated pools over here, but this one here, for example, where it says basic volatile or just basic, okay, these are not concentrated pools. You need 50-50, so 50% of your bag, so $500 in USD Plus and $500 in OVN in this example. And you're going to generate about 158.42% per year. And then you come over to your dashboard, and then you can start to see your emissions, your Aero tokens start to stack up. Now you can do a few things with these Aero tokens. You can claim these and you can sell them and take the money. But if you're starting with 1,000 and building up, what I'd suggest is claiming these fees, selling it, and then jumping back into the position. Or what you could do is you could claim it, you could come over to lock, okay, and you can lock your tokens up. And then what you can do is you can come over to vote, and you can vote on a pool every single week. And you can see I'm generating about $15 a week just by taking my Aero tokens, locking them up, and voting on positions each week, or voting on pools each week. And I'm going to get $15 split between WETH and DOG. This is another thing you can do with your rewards over on Aerodrome. But to keep it simple, 50%, 50-50, 50% OVN, 50% USD Plus in this position. Okay, claim the tokens, compound it back in. That's another strategy you could do. The final one that I would suggest if you're just starting out with $1,000 is going on to something like Beefy Finance. Again, you probably want something that's blue chip. So we're going to click blue chip pools, and you can see here that, let's have a look. You can get 0.3%, 0.4% a day right now on USDC Matic. Now, the good thing about Beefy Finance is that it compounds for you. So you're not going to have to come in, you're not going to manage it. Now, it depends on kind of what strategy you prefer. I personally prefer managing things myself, but that's just a personal preference. I like claiming my fees and then deciding what to do. You can go in here and you can withdraw funds. Okay, you can withdraw as much or as little as you want. So you can actually go ahead and claim your rewards over on Beefy as well. And then it's going to give you an LP token. You're going to have to unbreak that LP and then sell those assets. So it's a bit more, there's a couple more steps involved in doing that over on Beefy. But yeah, something like Beefy Finance, USDC and ETH 0.21% per day, and this will just auto compound for you. So every time it spits out an emission, every time you get fees, it will just compound that back into the $1,000. So that is how I would probably start yield farming with $1,000. Pretty simple, right? This is pretty crazy. You can get 1,200% daily on this one. That's not going to last very long. Arbin USDC, 9% a day. Again, probably won't last very long there as well. But you can get a bunch of, there's quite a few different strategies. Ignore this portfolio section. This is just a GLP position that I went into a while ago, over a year ago actually. And that's kind of just been sitting in the background compounding. We made $300 on that. We only make 5% APY, but again, I'm just kind of holding this GLP token, which is kind of like an ETF. So that is how I would start yield farming with $1,000. Is keeping it simple. I would probably put that in one position, but make sure you're doing research on those tokens. If you're going to go into that OVM position, again, do not take this as financial advice, but make sure you study and have a look at the OVN kind of chart. Make sure you know what you're investing in. Take a look at the project, which if you go down here and go to the website, overnight.finance, you can see the project here. I personally like OVN. That's why I have 4.5K in that position. But yeah, just do your research and have a look to see what you like. So yeah, that's how I would personally start, is either through, utilizing the Uniswap positions, having a look on Crystal and seeing some blue chip pools. Now, again, deciding on which blue chip pool to go in, make sure you take a look at the guide that I made a few days ago, because that does go over sort of the criteria that I look for, etc. I would start on Aerodrome or Beefy. Those are the three main things I would start with. One position, and then compounding my fees up until I have a bigger bag, or yeah, basically just compounding. And then adding to that whenever you can is what I would suggest. So, well, that's what the comment was on the video the other day anyway. But guys, that's going to be it for the video. If you have enjoyed, make sure you smash a like, subscribe down below if you are new. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.